So, you're gearing up for your esthetician licensing exam, practicing all your techniques. But what if I told you the real secret to passing isn't about style, it's about safety? Well, today we are breaking down the official mindset you absolutely need to have to ace that test.
Look, we all get into aesthetics for the fun stuff, right? I mean, who doesn't love perfecting a winged liner, creating that flawless foundation, or playing with all the cool gadgets? But here's the deal. The state licensing board, they're testing you on something completely different. They want to know if you've truly mastered sanitation, if you can spot when you have to say no to a service, and if you follow the rules to the letter. And that is the big mindset shift we're going to tackle today.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into that special exam mindset. Then we'll dive deep into the most critical topic of all, sanitation. After that, we'll cover knowing when to say no, talk about your professional limits, and then wrap it all up with a review of some common exam traps.
All right, let's start with the big picture here, the licensing exam mindset. The one principle you have to burn into your memory is this. It's not about what's trendy, it's about what is safe. Period.
You know, this quote from the source material, it says it all. The exam isn't designed to see if you're a wizard with some fancy, complex machine. Nope. It's testing if you know the safety rules, and more importantly, when that machine has to stay powered off. The big takeaway here? Think less like a celebrity artist and more like a safety inspector.
And that brings us right to sanitation, which, by the way, is called out as the single most tested concept across every single service, from makeup to waxing to electricals. If you can master this, you are already way ahead of the game.
And if there is one golden rule, one thing you have to know, it is this. Never, ever, ever double dip. Seriously. This one simple action is the root of so many potential exam questions, all because it's a huge source of cross-contamination.
And this rule isn't just for waxing. It's absolutely universal. Think about it. That mascara wand can't go back into the tube after it's touched lashes. A lip color applicator, it's one and done. Using a brow tint, you better be grabbing a fresh applicator every single time you go back to that pot. The exam is going to test you on applying this one rule in a bunch of different situations.
And let's be crystal clear about the stakes here. Forgetting to use a fresh applicator isn't just a simple mistake you can make on the exam. Out in the real world, improper sanitation is a full-blown licensing violation. It's a direct threat to public safety and to your career.
So all this talk about safety naturally leads us to our next critical skill, knowing when to just say no. A massive part of your job is recognizing contraindications and having the professional confidence to refuse a service when it's the right thing to do for your client.
So what in the world is a contraindication? Well, to put it simply, it's any reason at all that you have to withhold a treatment because it could actually harm your client. Your job is to be the expert, the one who spots these problems before they can even happen.
And that brings me to a critical question, a question that I guarantee you will face on the exam in one way or another. Which clients are you required to refuse service to? Let's look at some key examples right here. If a client has a pacemaker, you can't use electrical modalities. It's forbidden because it can interfere with their device. If they have a cold sore, which is a virus, you can't risk spreading it with a makeup application. And conjunctivitis or pink eye, highly contagious. All eye services are completely off the table. These are not suggestions, people. These are non-negotiable safety rules.
Building right on that, let's talk about your professional limits, what's known as your scope of practice. Knowing what you can't do is just as important as knowing what you can. This is all about protecting both your client and that license you worked so hard for. Remember, your job is cosmetic enhancement, not medical treatment. That means you cannot diagnose that rash on their arm as eczema, you cannot treat an eye infection, you absolutely, under no circumstances, can modify your electrical equipment. And you can't confuse a cosmetic service with a medical procedure. The exam will definitely test if you know where that line is drawn. So what's the bottom line here? It's actually pretty simple. If you are ever in doubt about a client's condition, about a piece of equipment, about anything at all, the correct, the professional, and the license-saving action is to stop. Do not perform the service. Okay, you ready to put all this knowledge to the test? Let's do it. In this last section, we're going to do a rapid-fire review of some common exam traps. Let's go. Okay, first up, what is the primary concern when you are using electrical equipment? Is it A, the cost, B, its appearance, C, client safety, Or D, the speed of the service? The answer is always, always C, client safety. The other things, sure, they're business considerations, but safety is the legal and ethical requirement, and it's what the state cares about most. Question number 2, a classic from color theory. Which color neutralizes redness? Is it A, violet, B, green, C, orange, or D, yellow?
And the answer is B, green. Just remember your color wheel from school. Complementary colors neutralize each other. Green is right across from red, making it the perfect choice for cosmetically covering up any redness.
And here's our final practice question for today. Which of these conditions requires you to refuse lash and brow services? A, dry skin, B, normal skin, C, conjunctivitis, or D, combination skin? The answer, of course, is C, conjunctivitis. Just like we talked about, this is a highly contagious infection. Performing any kind of service near the eyes would be a major, major safety violation. The exam is going to expect you to know that in a heartbeat. Let's end on what might be the single most powerful summary from our source material. Safety overrides cosmetic goals. That is the entire philosophy of the licensing exam in just 4 words. Your client's desire for darker lashes means nothing if they have an eye infection. The goal is never, ever more important than the process. So, as you keep studying, don't just ask yourself if you know the steps of a facial. Ask yourself this: are you truly ready to protect your client and to protect your license? Because that is what it really means to be a professional.